Welcome back, disc golf fans, to the Back 12 coverage of Round 2 of the 2021 Santa Cruz Masters Cup presented by Innova Champion Discs. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here yet again by my lovely co-host, AJ Risley. AJ, we move into the back stretch of DeLaveaga with two of the best players in the world and two newcomers to the chase card world. And this is an awesome card to watch so far.
Yeah, it really is. Brady and Alden, the newcomers you were talking about, they're lighting it up. 5 down and 4 down, respectively. Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki, keeping it under par as well, but they've got a few more red boxes on their scorecard.
Yeah, a lot of weird mistakes. We saw a couple of unforced errors from Ricky that you really don't see too often. And with Paul and Ricky both having played this course so many times, you really wonder what's going through their head on those. We move into number 13. This beautiful drone flyover is brought to you by Flight Factory, so shout outs to them. This is a really great par 3. Again, we talked about it yesterday. The biggest gap is actually a very technical gap. A lot of players are playing a stable turnover through the gap to the left.
Yeah, bringing those trees into play quite a bit more. And there you go.
Just on the inside of that tree. That was looking so good from Paul.
Man, that could have gone out of bounds, too. But we didn't see an out-of-bounds graphic. Hopefully he's inbounds. Brady going for the biggest gap, and like you said, the most technical that looked kind of bad out of his hand, but
yeah.
It found a skip. He might have a putt. And Rick's also going for that big technical gap. He finds a tree.
Yeah, it's this tight flex line that there's not a lot of room to actually hang it right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a flex that you have to push forward. And speaking of technical, look at this line.
I love it.
Starting on hyzer, coming up to flat.
That was cool.
That is a man.
And then there's a deer. Okay.
Wow.
Wow, great shot, Alden. Look at that deer.
That was a really beautiful line. Paul putting his to a little bit short of the basket.
Rick going for the second branch-assisted make of the round. Almost gets it.
And yeah, Brady's shot had a kind of a second life after it hit the ground on Anheuser. Paul for par from 35.
Oh, man. That was so close. Those are brutal. But dead center, just like most of his putts.
And Brady's going to save his par. It's just weird to see again, we say unforced errors. It's just little mistakes that add up, you know?
Yeah, although that time Paul's drive did hit that tree pretty hard, and it kicked him like at least 70 feet.
Definitely.
But man, Alden, great birdie on that hole. That was such a fun drive to watch, and solid 20-footer. Rick for par.
And after 3 birdies in a row, Paul kind of spoils it with a bogey on 13. He's just kind of struggling to stay afloat here. Moving into number 14. Interesting par 4.
Yeah, new pin for the tournament this year. I believe this is a Chuck Burkett Memorial pin. Hole 14, par 4, just barely over 400 feet. We're going to see a lot of these high flex forehands, just to really bite off as much of the fairway as the player can on that left side. But there's the trouble, is that wall of trees midway down the fairway on that left side.
This looks a little higher, and it would have been really nice, but it actually puts him to an okay spot. Only 411. You just need to put something in play.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these players are going to be trying to get up there for an eagle putt, though.
And really the tricky thing about playing the wooded half of
Look at
DeLaveaga.
this.
Oh, man. Oh, wow, that thing just kept scooting.
Mm-hmm.
It had some juice on it. But this wooded half of DeLaveaga has very low ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
So 411 is a bit closer to a par 4 because you can't just bomb one up in the air. You have to throw a low skip shot that might hit a tree too.
Yeah.
So it's tough to get all of that 411 unencumbered.
Alden having to make a decision. Do I play it to the top of the hill or do I try to throw one into the hill? He's going to be
Looked like he was going for into the hill.
Yeah. And Brady going forehand.
He was in a pretty good spot.
Matches the angle of the hill and actually is a decent play.
And I don't really think he was trying to get up on top of the hill with that forehand, which is something that, the less experienced players, they can hopefully take some notes and some wisdom from that. Wow, Rick for the eagle. But you don't have to put yourself right under the basket every time. What you have to do is you have to develop a strong putt.
Exactly.
That's where the difference is made. Because you see this guy right here, he has a very strong putt. He can miss a putt on one hole and make an even better putt on the very next.
And it allows for more aggressive play. It allows for the players to run these uphill eagle putts like Ricky did. And that's, to me, is a big, the importance of Circle 1 putting is, especially at the pro level, is allowing you to do, James Conrad's another poster child for this. Amazing at 30 to 35 feet, and it allows him to run the basket from 120 feet. And we move into 15, the kitchen hole. This is a really interesting hole. A lot of different plays on this. I think for the righty, regardless of disc, you see some sort of flex out of the hand. You don't see a lot of straight shots. You see a lot of people trying to throw Anheuser through this gap and flatten it. But it's super hard to get it right because you can't even come close to seeing the basket.
Yeah. Can't see the basket. You're throwing downhill. And I think that might be why we see players throw an Anheuser angles. They're throwing downhill, and they can't quite throw off to the right initially. So they have to get that nose down, and they also have to play on that left side of the fairway to start.
And look at Ricky Wysocki throwing the exact line we were talking about. He is 20 feet. And
then Paul goes big hyzer.
Really?
That is a play. It's definitely a play.
As long as that sits, that is not bad. Wow. All right. A lot higher. Yeah, he doesn't like it. That is an overstable disc, potentially trying to do what we saw Barsby do yesterday, just kind of lean on something and let it work out on its own. Let's take a quick look. And it's interesting. This is a misfire from Alden, so this is a bit too high. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Beautiful footwork. And that's the thing with Alden is when he does come up to throw, that the extension as the disc is rising up, that's what creates that air bounce throw from him.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that every now and then as it's rising, he gets, his body is moving upwards and the disc also goes a little too high.
I wonder if it could have been the tee pad as well.
Yeah.
It almost looked like his run up wanted to go over the tee pad.
Yeah.
But then his foot kept him on the tee pad, and then that little discrepancy is what led to an even more accentuated air bounce.
And Paul is going to snag a birdie from the huge hyzer shot.
Rick with the great putt. Great putt from inside 20. Well done.
Extremely well done.
Okay.
Squeaks it on in the right side of the basket.
Count it.
Absolutely. As you can see, the disc golf hole is a lot more forgiving than the golf hole. And Alden is going to just save a par here. And we go into I-5, AJ. This is a very interesting hole, especially with new pin position.
Yeah, a new par 4. Players are they have to bomb it over this open fairway and then back into the woods, where again there's a low ceiling, but still we find the somewhat pseudo concrete ground.
Yep.
And so there's just a lot to think about. There is a cliff again on the left side. If players go too straight and to the right off the tee, they're going to be in some trees as well.
And Ricky wants this to sit down. That left side is not good if you slide all the way down, but he ended up in a decent spot, put enough speed on it. Crushes it on Heiser. Look at that thing flip up to flat. Oh. Wow.
Look out.
That's about as far up the fairway as I've seen.
Yeah.
Really, really solid move on this one. But a little high. Oh, yeah. And that left side is actually nice if you have a sidearm.
Yeah. Yeah, the left side it's open. Oh, no, and Alden has pulled another one.
There you go.
And it still comes out.
Yeah.
We watched.
And it still has plenty of distance. Wow.
We watched Sexton get up and down from over here, although Alden's going right side.
Still
And
going.
he gets through. Probably not the best look for a birdie, but he'll have another easy par.
Brady's taking that left side, like you said. Oh, and he liked it. He just found a branch at the very end.
This hole is one of my favorite short par fours on the tour because no matter how far you throw, it forces you to get creative on the second shot. It makes you uncomfortable no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
And Ricky's spin putt.
For the turkey. Another turkey. Or maybe his first of the round. Who knows?
Alden grabs one as well. And again, I believe you look at Ricky hitting a 40-foot spin putt, 30-foot spin putt. There is, I believe, coverage of him at Am Nationals at the Toboggan a long time ago when he was an amateur player, and that was his putt. So take a look at that if you can find the footage. Hole number 17, AJ, 436, another tight, short par 4. I think with the players we have, the power hyzer, it comes into play. Instead of having to hit the gap up the middle, you're able to push over this giant oak tree that catches discs.
Ooh, good second tree.
Sit down.
Oh, man, what the heck? Oh, no.
That looks to be
no.
maybe a re-tee if Ricky wants it. That's bogey very quickly. And there's Paul playing safe. He knows he doesn't have to get that far. He just has to put it in the middle. Yeah. Puts it into a fine spot as long as it sits down.
Oh, that's rolling too. Huh. But yeah, I mean, you make a good point though. It's like the players, we all know that all four of these guys can go up and over the top. Will they? It really depends on what they feel like gives them the best chance at a 3.
Exactly. Because I really don't think the 2 is as possible as people think. Even in the old pin position that was 70 feet, maybe 100 feet diagonal back to the right, it was still a hard birdie in itself as a par 3.
And unfortunately, we won't know if Ricky's low shot would have had a chance at a long 2 attempt. But we can dream. Oh, he almost rang up the birdie.
Sits it there. He's going to be tapping in for a par. Brady with a little flex sidearm if that slides.
He could use a birdie right now because he's got a couple world champions on his heels. And same goes for Alden.
Yeah, Alden. The thing about Alden is he hasn't really made that many mistakes this round. He's just been, or fatal mistakes. He hasn't taken many bogey strokes.
Mm-hmm.
His bad shots have put him into a spot of safety, and is throwing beautiful shots like this.
Yep. Right, which, I mean, that description at a lot of other places on tour, that might drop you pretty quickly off, down the leaderboard. But here in Santa Cruz for the Masters Cup, no fatal errors, and you could be just fine.
Yeah.
And you can be still, Alden's tied for 5th right now.
Just a little timid. That one he definitely short-armed.
He knew it. He knew it right
Yeah.
away. It almost sounded like in my ear he knew it before he even let go of the disc.
And Brady misses his that went a little bit long. Kind of an air ball on that aggressive step putt.
Ooh, did I jinx him?
You know, I don't think so.
I don't think that's how it works with this post-produced coverage.
And Ricky is going to get up and down for his par. Very solid save.
I'll say. He hit 2 trees off the tee and then rolled down the hill. And he still got up and down for par. Not for bird, but...
Yeah, no harm done.
Yeah.
And Alden's still yet to go. Great second shot. And that's going to be a birdie for Alden. He is back on the horse.
If I need to get up and down in a pressure situation, I'm grabbing the AVR X3 every time. When you can connect the visualization of the shot that you're trying to throw with the feel of the disc in your hand, that's really when magic happens. I can trust throwing the disc as hard as I want or as soft as I want to do exactly what it's supposed to do. Like the AVR is the best putter of all time, the AVR X3 just might be the best approach disc of all time.
Okay, hole 18. Big canyon of live oaks on the left that the players have to throw over at first and then dip down under this one and scoot up towards the basket. Although, we might see some big plays up and over the left side, around that backside of the green to give the players a chance at 2.
Yeah, could see Paul and Ricky going big sidearm. And Alden going huge flex shot. Look how high he threw this.
Dang. Yeah, that was way up there. A little short.
Can't quite tell if that's a run or not. Looks like he's about circle 2. And yeah, like I thought, Ricky's going to go power hyzer forehand. Early.
Whoa. Almost got James there on the tee.
Yeah, Paul's
But I think he'll have a putt.
Yeah, definitely. Paul's going to want to go a little flatter on this one. Oh, he's going hyzer forehand as well. Swings it a little bit more wide. And puts him again to about circle 2.
About the same distance as Rick off the tee.
Brady, a little hyzer flip. That's going to be right side. But puts him inside circle 1. Great shot.
Yeah, he threw the forehand and he did not go out and around the backside of the green, but he split those 2 trees somehow, and yeah, I think he'll have a circle 1 look as well.
And the putting woes continue for Paul. And again, similar round to Calvin's yesterday.
In there.
Ricky capitalizes on the C2 putt. Takes one on Paul.
And Alden. Not Brady, though.
And
Great
Brady
putt.
continues. 17 under par. He is making a big push. Keeping it up, he could be on the lead card for the final round. Always a treat to see. Yeah, Paul just kind of having a similar round to Calvin.
I mean,
just a
Paul
lot
McBeth's attitude right now is not a treat for me to see. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I just don't like the knee slaps and the mini throwing, unfortunately. That's just my opinion.
Moving on to number 19, par 3, 435. Again, log defines the entire hole. Anheuser to flat is the shot here. We did see Sexton get a huge sidearm up to circle 1, and Ricky has all of that power.
Oh.
Early. Again. And he potentially puts him to about circle 2.
Man.
Brady is really crushing the disc right now. That was going to go way long in the basket.
Oh, yeah.
And
That might have knocked the basket over.
yeah, he's going to be circle 2, probably pretty obstructed. Alden's going to go long turnover. If it keeps coming, that's going to be good. Comes out early.
Yeah, but he's got the... Whoa. Oh, look out.
Knocks over the trifold stool. He'll have a nice little up and down. And that looks like it's headed right for that tree. Yeah.
Oh, but it gets under the log. Through the small tree, under the log. I wonder if he's got a clean putt or not. I hope he does.
Easy 3 there for Brady. And Ricky has a framed up putt from about 50.
He might have had some low-hanging branches kind of in his way, forcing him to throw a laser.
There it is. Awesome comeback for Paul.
Nice.
Let's rewind that. That's about 45-foot death putt. You wonder if the death putt helps him to laser focus. We've seen all of his best putts come from these downhill, really treacherous putts. You know,
I think you might be onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, that's a interesting point. No.
And Ricky, again, with a unforced error. That's going to be a bogey from him from about 50 feet. 3-putt. And, it could be in the mindset of for Paul's case, a must-get putt in his mind versus a can-get putt in his mind. And, the focus might be a little bit different. And
Totally.
moving into gravity, we did see a wonderful ace on this hole by an unnamed player. You'll find out soon. This is a blast of a hole to throw. It's so short, but it's just such a historic hole. It's been there. It's been unchanged.
It's very touchy.
Very touchy. Full approach from Paul. Sounds like he doesn't like it. Oh, wow.
He probably didn't like it because maybe it came in too hot or too high. But it almost aced, and that's the danger on this hole, is almost acing. He hit past the basket, and now he's got like a 45-footer with about 10 feet of elevation gain.
And Brady hitting a first tree. You wonder why you're not seeing a lot of standstill throws on this short hole. It plays about, 170. You really just float it down there.
There's just 3 or 4 big trees that frame this hole up and kind of, I don't know, maybe it makes the standstill shot just not really work out that well.
And Ricky didn't like it, but it does stick on the roots. It's going to be the lone park job of the hole.
Really great commitment to the line from Rick there.
Yeah.
Trying to play left of this little V tree. That's tough to do. Great shot by Brady. Sticking it on the second shelf. And I think he's probably trying to throw this in.
Yeah, he was. And he's just going to take a 3 again. This is losing strokes. 3ing this hole is absolutely losing strokes in the field.
Especially when you're on the chase card. For sure.
Yeah, averaging a 2.38 on the day. Ricky is doing exactly what you need to do to stay on course here.
And I'm sure there's other players, too, that if they were in Paul's position on that putt, they would be trying to throw it in as well.
Definitely.
I just want to put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the only one that's looking at that putt like, oh, I can make this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players that can.
And Alden with the third par in a row, and we will catch you soon on number 21.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.
Hole 21, 276 feet, hard turn to the right, uphill a little bit, and then downhill a little bit. And look at that route right there on the left side. We call that the Anaconda route. Behind the basket, steepest cliff on the course.
This is a touchy shot. You talk about touchy on gravity, but this one, more specific, more technical.
And it's touchy because it requires some power to get up and over the hill right off the tee.
Yeah, it's a really unique angle. I think Paul's going with a little bit more stable buzz on this one. Yeah, something he can rip on Anheuser. That is not the line.
He got under the branches to give himself a chance at getting a slide, but I think the disc had a little bit too much Anheuser angle to really get that maximum scoot.
Oh.
Ooh.
And, you see Brady really liking the hyzer flip for almost all of his backhands, and you wonder if this hole is a little uncomfortable for him. Obviously not something he can't do, but you saw that he kind of tried drawing the entire line right off the bat. Yeah, low ceiling too. That's the toughest part is you don't have room to throw that high panning Anheuser. You have to hit the angle just right. And this is one of the most treacherous upshots on the course as well if you're halfway up the fairway. Brady does it pretty well.
Yeah, I think he elected to go right side of the tree, right side of the Anaconda route. Same with Alden here. Good little kick.
He is going to have a tester of a putt. Paul going for it. And
that might be gone forever.
Wow, we might see another bogey.
Oh. Rick from just outside circle one off the band.
Oh, Brady,
wow,
what?
Great par.
A save. Rewind that back. So
Jeez.
clean. Look where he was going. Nothing behind the basket. One of the best feelings in disc golf. This is Paul for par from down the hill.
Okay, good.
That was in the air for quite some time. That was a lot longer of a putt than it looks.
Yeah.
That might have been a
uphill putt.
30-footer. Par save for Paul. Yeah, he's been having a bit of a stressful round. Not really putting a lot underneath the basket.
Maybe that's just how he likes it.
At least today.
A nice pressurized round on a Saturday afternoon with 3 buds. Hole 22, 324 feet. Look at that tree that fell over a few years ago. It used to frame up the left side of the fairway, and guess what? It still does.
Yeah, it still does really nicely, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of makes the hole even harder because it's a little wider than the trunk of the tree.
Good point.
So now it's a lot more specific. Kind of have to throw this subtle hyzer that still keeps the angle.
Oh no, Ricky, he hit the gap, but the disc stayed straight. It almost turned a little bit, and that is not what you want. You want that disc to fade at the end of the flight, because if it doesn't, it scoots downhill into hopefully not too much poison oak, but definitely some bushes and bramble.
Paul's hyzer flip gets down there nicely. He's going to have another edge of circle 1 putt. little high from Brady, but that might be actually pretty nice. Yeah, circle 2, another stepper for him.
Yep.
And this is right in Alden's wheelhouse. Loves this angle.
Tight. Did it get around?
I think it did get up there.
Yeah.
And let's see where Ricky's at. See if he even has any route to the basket.
He did.
He almost had a route directly into the basket.
A scenic route, nonetheless, but almost got him home. Ooh.
Brady just missing on the weak side. Let's see if Paul can capitalize on one of these.
Yeah.
There
Great
it is.
putt.
If anything, he's getting practice for the final round. He is really having to earn this score that he has. And Alden kind of called that one out. This is a great hole for the way he likes to throw.
Mm-hmm.
Hard hyzer stand-up that continues to move left. Another one of those really specific DeLaveaga signature holes. Number 23, big power hyzer with the reference tree right next to the basket. These players are going to be throwing lawn darts into this one.
You think spike hyzer's up and over the trees?
I believe so.
Yeah.
We might see Ricky go a little flat stall hyzer at it just because he does like to throw that high. But Paul definitely hyzer all the way. There's a circle 1 putt finally close enough for him to, breathe a sigh of relief finally. No problem for Alden. And Ricky does the commentary for us. That is so terrible, he says. And puts him to about circle 2. It's going to be definitely a tester putt for him. And he's actually not wrong. If it sits, there is a route, a little path to the basket from where he's at.
Oh.
And he doesn't quite get to putt it.
Great putt. Solid 45 footer.
Just flat all the way. One of the best push putts our game has probably ever seen. So clean how he creates such a powerful lever with his arm.
Yeah, very strong push putt.
Alden gets his birdie as well. Moving to 18 under par. He is quietly having a fantastic round. And Paul gets to finally putt a mid-level circle 1 putt after kind of a stressful round for him. Not quite controlling the ground play the way he'd like to normally. And AJ,
It's tough to do out here.
we move into the last hole.
Yeah, very deceiving hole 24. 366 feet, a little bit downhill. OB Road past the basket by about 40 or 50 feet. I mean, there's a crosswind coming in from the right side, so that's why you see a lot of these forehand plays. But really, yeah, it's just the distance is deceiving on this hole.
And Paul, no way.
Getting a nice roll.
Puts him to about 25 to finish the round out. And Alden, this is a big moment. We see he's tied in 5th, or tied for 5th. If it sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This
Just
is
one
a shot.
skip, yeah.
Shot to the lead card. He could be shooting up the leaderboard with a birdie here. he's telling himself he's been doing that every time. And we saw just kind of the early release on the sidearm from him all day. Still puts him to a decent distance for his range that he likes to putt from.
Oh, yeah. I mean, closer than the putt on the last hole. Oh! And he finds the cages protecting the trees.
That's just so identical to yesterday, it's not even funny.
And yet you laughed.
That's literally exactly the same.
You know, I
One man's tragedy is another man's knee slapper. Oh.
just misses. What a, like you said, tragic end to the round. Really great showing from Brady, though. Really showcased a lot of skill and a lot of confidence.
Great
And
putt.
that is why he's so good. He had so much, he had so much adversity that round, and he still managed a very solid score.
Good putt, too.
Ricky also hitting one, and Ricky also having kind of a bland round for his standards.
I think just more bogeys than these guys are they're used to. But I think what they really showed is that they know where they're at. And they know that this course leads to many more bogeys. It doesn't matter how good you are. Oh.
And Alden sticks it. That could be the birdie that he needs to shoot up to the final round lead card of this tournament. You love seeing him up there. Fantastic human being. And you love seeing the kid follow his dreams and have the success that he's been having.
Oh, Brady, no.
And that is a tragic finish to the round of 5 for Brady. He moves to 15 under par. Nonetheless, a great showing from him as well. Wow. It's like every round here, something new happens.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Alden is tied for 3rd. I believe that'll put him into the final round lead card. Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki, Brady Och. Great round to watch. What a treat.
Yeah.
And we will see. There is a big tie for 3rd, so we'll see who shot the best round to move into that final round lead card. We will catch you on the 3rd round tomorrow. Again, subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. I'm Brian Earhart. He is AJ Risley. We are signing off.
Thanks, y'all.